Oh, all right. So somebody asked me in the comment section if I can explain or make explanation on XLOOKUP, VLOOKUP, and HLOOKUP. So I'm going to be starting with the VLOOKUP. So before we go into VLOOKUP, what exactly is VLOOKUP? VLOOKUP is simply called vertical lookup. Vertical lookup. It's a lookup and reference function. So when you say vertical, so that means you are coming in a column sense. Then when you say horizontal, then you are going in the row sense, depending on the orientation of your data. So now, if it is vertical, we are coming like this. Then if it is horizontal, we are going this way. Now, say vertical lookup. What do we use vertical lookup for, or VLOOKUP? We use VLOOKUP to look for a value or some set of values or range of values from one table. They want to populate it in another table. So say for example, we have these two tables. We have table A, then we have table B. In the first table, we discovered that there is a column for name, number, and score. In the second table, there is a column for name, score, but no number, no score in table A. No score in table A, there is score in table B, but no number. In table A, there is number, but no score. So what the requirement is that they need a table that is fully populated. So you can go for this guy or this guy. So you can either bring the score from this table and fill it inside this table, or you bring the number from this table and fill it inside this table. You have two options. So VLOOKUP works in both ways. VLOOKUP simply means I want to fill up this particular column vertically. Do you understand? So you are trying to populate a column in a vertical sense or vertical orientation. So now I'm going to say equals to VLOOKUP. So VLOOKUP has four arguments. The first one is the lookup value. What are you looking for? So firstly, anytime you are looking for something, the lookup value always has to be what is present in the first table and also present in the second table. So in this case, I have name, there is name, also there is name here. So I can tell Excel, hey, VLOOKUP, I want you to look for Wittig from inside this table, then check the second table and see if you can see Wittig there. So give me whatever score that is assigned to Wittig in the second table. That's basically what we are trying to say. So whatever is going to be your lookup value, you have to make sure that it is present in the two tables. So you have to pay so much attention to that. And every time, just because we are working on a dummy data, you have to make sure that whatever it is that you want to use as a lookup value has to be unique, a primary key to some extent. When you say primary key, something that is a unique identifier, something that can, that is not present for two people. In a situation whereby we have two people bearing Wittig, then we may have a little problem in there. But because we are working with a dummy data, then this may not give us any problem at all. So when you have something like the ID, customer ID, order ID, something like that, then we may want to employ something like that as our lookup value. So in this case, I'm going to say what is present in the first table and the second table is name. So Wittig, I want you to look for Wittig from this A table, then look inside B table and fetch me whatever score that is assigned to that person, comma. Then the second thing that is asking me is the table array. Table array is simply where are you looking for the data? So I'm looking for the data inside of this place. I'm looking for the score. So the score is inside the name and the score. So from table B, I'm going to select the array where I'm looking for what I'm going to populate, back inside the table that I'm working on, comma. So the third argument is column index number. Column index number simply means what column from your array that you selected, what column do you want to bring inside of your table? So I'm planning to bring in scores. So from the array that I selected, score is in the second column. So I have column 1, column 2. So I'm just saying 2, comma. Then the last argument there is the range lookup, match type. So how do I want this guy to work? Do I want approximate match or exact match? So I want the exact match. The exact score of Wittig is exactly what I'm looking for. So if I select that, then say enter, then I can see that the score of Wittig is now being populated in the first table. So if I fill it down that way, then I'm going to realize that it is working exactly the way it's supposed to. So if we want to do the same thing for the second table, let's say we want to fetch in the number from this table, then bring it here. So if I say equals to VLOOKUP the same way, then the lookup value, don't forget something that is present in the two tables. Click on this guy, comma, then the table array is going to be this. So, comma, then the column index number, what am I looking for? I'm looking for 2. So 2, comma, then I have the range lookup, which is the match type. I want exact match. Then enter, then it says 503. So this is basically what VLOOKUP is all about. Now, going to HLOOKUP or explaining HLOOKUP. So anytime we are working, or anytime they say something is in horizontal format or horizontal orientation, then that means it is not arranged in the normal way the data frame are usually are. So in this case, this is a vertical look of a table or data, but in this case, it is in horizontal. So you can do this, or you can achieve this by simply transposing your table. So if you copy this table, for example, come to the next sheet you are working on, then you say Ctrl V to paste it, then you can check out for the paste option and say, hey, I want it to transpose. Then this guy goes into different orientation entirely. So this formula is not working because of reference error, which I assume that you may be familiar with, because the formula is working on a particular worksheet based on the reference that I provided, which is not active in this case. So this is not as important. I just want to use it to make explanation of how you can change the orientation of your data. So let's say now we have this data, we have these two tables. Now we are going to be doing exactly the same thing that we did for VLOOKUP. So we want to fill in the score of the individuals in this table with the score from the second table. So in this case, since the data is in horizontal format or orientation, we are going to be going with HLOOKUP. So we say equals to HLOOKUP, then lookup value, don't forget something that is present in the two tables. So I'm going to go with it, comma, then table array is from inside of this place, comma, then the row index number in this case, and not column index number. So the row index number is what row is what you're trying to bring in. So if you check here, we have row 1 is name, row 2 is score. So I'm going to say 2, which is the row, then the match type, I'm going to say exact match, then I have the score field in there. So if I drag it to the right hand side, then it fills all the scores for me as it's supposed to. Then if I do the same thing for this guy, equals to HLOOKUP, then the lookup value is this, comma, then the table array is, I'm looking for something from this array, comma, then the row index number is, I'm looking for the number, so which is 2, then comma, then say exact match. Don't forget the last argument there is optional. So if I fill it, then it's going to fill or populate the whole number for me. So that is basically how the HLOOKUP works. Now XLOOKUP, because somebody still asked about XLOOKUP. So let's say, for example, I have the same way. XLOOKUP work in both ways. So if you are not trying to use vertical lookup or horizontal lookup, you can make use of XLOOKUP. So XLOOKUP basically combines the two of them together. So it works vertically and works horizontally depending on the orientation of the data that is supplied. So let's say, for example, I want to do the same thing. I want to fill in the scores of this individual inside from table B inside of table A. So one thing about XLOOKUP is that it allows you to provide more argument. It gives you more argument to provide some case scenario when your data are not available or when you have error in your data set. So if I say equals to XLOOKUP, then the first thing, as usual, is the lookup value. So I'm going to say I'm looking for WITIC, comma, then the lookup array. This is what this guy is going to be asking, lookup array. So I want to look up, WITIC. So look up WITIC from this place, as you can see. When you are working with VLOOKUP, you have to select every single thing. But in this case, you can be specific. So I'm looking for WITIC on this array, comma. Then it's asking me for the return array. So instead of column index number. This guy is going to allow you to specifically select the column that you expect to return. So I want to return the scores, comma. Then I have another option, if not found. That is, if the score of Wittig is not found, what should I return? Then I can provide NA. NA means not available, comma. Then it's going to ask me for the match mode. So as usual, I'm going to say exact match, comma. Then I have the search mode. So this place, in this case, you may provide, as you can see from if not found, all the options are optional. So anytime you see an argument in parentheses, I mean in a square bracket, it means it is optional. Sometimes you can provide them, sometimes they are not necessary. So in this case, the search mode, if you like, you can say, okay, I want you to search from the first to the last, or last to the last to the first, and so on and so forth. And in some situation whereby you want to skip that particular argument, you can just put double comma. So double comma, I mean, you just put a comma and not provide anything. So when you provide comma and not provide anything, then that means you are skipping that particular argument. So when I say enter, as you can see, it's definitely going to give me exactly the same way that I have it. So if you go ahead to the second table and do the same thing for number, you are also going to have the same thing provided for you. So if you have any other question, you can let me know. Thank you.